Hello everyone, welcome to Move Well, Live Well. Have you ever experienced pain or spasm in the psoas? Are they tight and weak? Well, if so, you're going to want to stick around because I'm going to show you two simple exercises, not easy, two simple exercises that you can do at home to strengthen the psoas. So, join me, shall you? So, we get a number of people that come in here with issues regarding their psoas and their hip flexors. And they've battled bouts of spasm and pain and discomfort in their psoas. Well, their psoas and the hip flexor group have a tendency to be tight and weak. Why? Again, we sit way too much. So we're always in this kind of hip flexed, seated position, and those psoas, the hip flexors, get chronically tight, but then we don't exercise them. We don't strengthen them so that way they become strong, and your ability to control the psoas goes down the tubes, and then when you go to do something that you're normally not accustomed to, they spasm up, and you get discomfort and pain, and for sometimes days, even weeks, people experience this discomfort and pain in the hip because of this psoas spasm and pain. So how do you fix that? How do you fix that tightness and weakness in the hip flexors and psoas group? So I'm going to show you two exercises on how to strengthen the hip flexors that you can do at home. Again, these are simple but not easy. So stand like this, and again, the hip flexors allow for hip flexion, which is bringing the thigh up toward your torso, just like this. So hip flexion, hip flexion. So that's what we're gonna do. I recommend standing to start with. So this is a standing exercise. You can use a wall, a door jamb to give yourself support as you do this. I'm gonna start with my right hip right here, and we're gonna go and bring it into flexion with the knee slightly bent. You see that? And I'm in a little bit of external rotation. See that? So in here, and you're reaching for full hip flexion. A lot of people, when they do this, they have a tendency to kind of stop short. They stop short like right here or right here. You want to bring this into full hip flexion. See that? All the way down, all the way up. You're going to touch your foot onto the ground, just a tap, and bring it up. Do a set of 15 in here. And then the next set, you're going to go into slight internal rotation. So you're going to internally rotate the femur. So instead of being like this, a little bit externally rotate, you're going to be like this. So you're going to be here with the knee bent. You're going to tap the foot, and you're going to go into internal rotation. See that? And this is just the weight of my thigh. I haven't even loaded this, and I can already feel the weakness. Even me, I can feel the weakness in my hip flexors trying to struggle to do this particular exercise. Just like this. Do a set, 15 in through here with internal rotation, okay? The third set, you're gonna do with your knee relatively as straight as you can. So with the knee straight, you're gonna have a neutral, so your toes are gonna be pointed forward like this, and you're just doing in here. See that? Again, as high as you can go, right there. And man, I can really feel that hip flexor complex working. So again, the hip flexors, the main ones, you got your psoas, you have your iliacus, you have your sartorius, and you have your rectus femoris, which is one of the quad muscles. Those are your primary hip flexors. So this is straightforward, like you're kicking somebody, straight kick. So again, I'm going to go through those again right here in a side view. You're going to start with your knee externally rotated, right, with your knee bent like this, and then you're going to touch your toe to the ground, and you're going to bring that hip all the way up as high as you can go. I'm using the rack to brace myself. Boom. Okay? One set of 15. Then I'm going to go into internal rotation. It's going to look the same because it's side view. So I'm going to internally rotate my femur like that. I'm going to touch the ground, my toe, internally rotate it, and I'm bringing that up. Boom. Boom. Like that. And then I'm going to straighten out the foot. My foot's going to be straight head on like this. Okay? And I'm just kicking straight out. Knee just slightly bent. The straighter the better. Boom. Boom. Just like that. Do a set of 15 for each of those external rotated, internal rotation, and then straight ahead. And man, I can already feel that hip flexor complex on fire. You'll find, again, these muscles are chronically tight, but they're also weak. So then when we ask them to do a certain activity, they go into spasm, and we have problems with it, pain and discomfort, and we're laid out for sometimes a few days to sometimes a number of weeks because of that problem. This is a very utilized and neglected muscle group. When was the last time that you worked out your hip flexors? Well, there you go. So these are specific strengthening exercises for the hip flexors, so that way you can continue to move well and live well. In just a second here, I'm going to show you another exercise you can do for your hip flexors. Okay, so now here's another exercise, the second one that you can do for your hip flexors. I'm seated here on the floor now, as you can see, and I'm going to go just like we were standing, but now I'm seated. So what this does, you really work that last end range, which tends to be the weakest range for the hip flexors, is getting that last bit of flexion in the hip. So I'm going to brace myself with my hands behind me just like this. And so what I'm doing, as you can see, I'm kind of in external rotation here. So start like the first one where you're standing, your hip is in external rotation. So external rotation like that. And all you're doing is, boom, you're lifting your thigh and leg up in external rotation. My knee is slightly bent. If you can keep it straight, then do that. Boom. Just like this. If you can't, you have to modify it. If you have to keep your knee bent, then that's fine too. This is going to be a little easier, and as you straighten out your legs, that's going to be harder and harder to do. And then do one set of 15 in that externally rotated position. Then you internally rotate right here. So now my toes are pointing kind of inward. That's the best way to kind of demonstrate internal rotation of the femur. And you're here, okay? And then again, you go into internal rotation and up. Internal rotation and up. Again, if you need to bend, then that's fine. If you need to bend, that's fine. But if you can, keep your knee as straight as possible in internal rotation. See that? Internal rotation. Oh man, and that's hard. One set of 15 in there in internal rotation. And just like standing, we're going to now go into just neutral. So your toes are going to be pointed straight forward. If you have to, you're going to bend your knee, and that's going to be easier to bend the knee in this position here. See that? Boom. Boom. That. If you keep it straight, you can keep it straight. The straighter, the more difficult. Boom. Boom. Just like that. And man, I can really feel that hip flexor complex just on fire and through there. Because like I said before, this is a chronically tight and weak muscle group. Like again, we sit way too much. They're just chronically tightened, shortened, and we don't exercise them. When was the last time you exercised your hip flexors? So, 2 exercises, 3 different variations of those in those positions to help strengthen the hip flexors. They're easy, they're simple. They look simple, but they're not easy. So, if you have any questions with this video, drop it off in the comment section below. We thank you for watching, we appreciate it. And remember, if you're new to this channel, hit subscribe. And when you hit subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification button, because that'll keep you in the loop with subsequent videos coming here in the near future. That way you can continue to move well and live well. Also, I know you know folks who have battled pelvic pain, psoas spasm, discomfort through here, and I'll bet you $1 million that they're not doing specific exercises to strengthen their hip flexors, their psoas group. And what's happening, they're becoming weak. So when they go to do any kind of movement, they spasm up. So make them strong. Share this with them. So that way they can benefit from this video as well. Also, give us a like, give us a thumbs up. It lets us know you care. Anyway, we thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.